Hello, beautiful people. My name is Athol, and this is Relationship Momentum. So today, I read a question, and as a general reminder, AskAtholAnything@gmail.com, and that's perhaps part of the show. So here's the question. Hi Athol, we'll be very glad if you clarify a point. I read in many of your articles that the ideal state for a man is a mixture of alpha and beta. In this respect, where should a man draw the line helping his woman in household chores, cooking, etc.? Okay. In a nutshell, I just split the chores fairly 50-50. If I was living by myself, I would have to do all the chores, all the cooking, all the cleaning, all the laundering, all the gardening, all the paying of the bills. If my wife was living by herself, she would have to do all the chores herself. Chores, household chores, really do not often come with any kind of flag that says this is best done by a man or best done by a woman. So you just split them. You just find a way to split them. I think the real problems come with chores is when it starts defaulting into one person is doing more and more of the chores than the other person, where someone is falling into the role of being the butler or falling into the role of being the maid or the charwoman. If you're in these situations, your partner doesn't respect you. They don't really appreciate all the work you do. They don't care that you do it all. They don't love you anymore. They don't really appreciate you anymore. And they sure as hell are not attracted to you because you do a bunch of laundry and a bunch of dishes and you dust and you vacuum. No one is turned on by that. These are just necessary tasks. They're just necessary life skills. And if anything, one person being caught up in doing all the chores, that typically runs afoul of energy. They just don't have enough energy left to have any interest in having sex or whatever. If one person is doing the lion's share of the chores, you're pretty much going to expect that you will be failing at that energy link in the chain of seduction, that's where it's going to stop. And you can be in great shape, you can be highly attractive, you can be telling that you love them and how wonderful you think they are, and they're just going to be exhausted. And then you're going to initiate and it's going to fail and you're not going to have sex, so you'll never have consummation. Just split the chores 50-50. They're not a male chore or a female chore. Pretty much everything has some kind of help or assistance. We do laundry in magic white boxes that washes and dries our clothes for us. Doing the dishes does not take that long. Just split them, but just don't get caught up in the situation where one person is doing it all, or at least the lion's share of it. And if you want to play the captain card of how you want things to be, I would basically play it so that it's going to be as fair and equitable as you guys can figure out between you. I think that's it in a nutshell. I have seen some studies on this stuff. There are definitely some older ones that I had read and come across that suggested that a stereotypical gender-based chore breakdown was good, that there was some sort of benefits to that. They do tend to be older. Older studies. Most of the more modern ones that I'm starting to see is really starting to suggest that some sort of equitable breakdown, chore sharing tends to result in happier relationships and tends to result in greater sexual frequency. So yes, obviously, you doing the vacuuming does not make her hot and horny, but it can be if it's part of some sort of chore sharing where there's enough energy left. That's what ends up in terms of getting the sex. It seems fair and equitable. The one thing to watch for if you're a guy though is if you're doing a lot of the outside the house chores, you need to get some sort of credit for that. It's not you do all the stuff with the cars, you do the lawn mowing, you do all the house painting, and then you have to come inside and have a fair and equitable breakdown of all the inside the house chores. I think you have to see that all these chores inside and outside the house, they all count. You should all get credit for them. But yeah, don't be the butler, don't be the maid, fair and equitable. That's about it. Alrighty. So hope you liked the video. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good internet stuff, and I will talk to you tomorrow.